Hi, this is Dylan with the California Superbike School. We are going to do a track talk of Utah Motorsports Campus, the East course. So let's do it. All right, front straightaway, not very long. And this start-finish line is actually a really good reference point on where to apply the brakes. Again, that's really going to depend on what type of bike you're riding, 400 Ninja or Superbike. But in any case, it serves as a good reference. This first corner is a double apex corner. So you want to turn perhaps somewhere in this neighborhood, bring it down. And as it is with most double apex corners, there's different ways we can take them, but you tend to hit that first apex, let it run out, perhaps not too far. Bring it back for that second apex, and at this point we're just rolling the throttle on and getting the thing to full throttle as early as you can. This next corner is very much a momentum turn. For smaller bikes, you might not even actually have to let off the throttle. Bigger bikes, you're usually going to come out of the throttle partially, but you can carry quite a bit of speed. This is where you're going to exit somewhere mid-track and keep the flow. So you don't need to sweep way out wide. And this section is really nice because one corner just blends nicely into the next. Again, here we don't have to sweep all the way out for the entry, somewhere mid-track. This is a late apex corner. You want to work your way into this curbing and then hug it for a little while and intentionally drive it out to the outside so that we're in position for the next corner. Drop it down in here. We're gonna hang on to the apex for a little while. It's not quite a touch and go, but touch, hold, now release. Run it out, and we're gonna get it to wide open throttle as soon as we can. Usually doing an upshift, then a downshift, and here we have another classic double apex. We're aiming for an early apex here. Let it run out, not all the way out to the very edge of the track necessarily. You're gonna sacrifice a little speed, bring it back for that second apex, get the bike pointed straight up the track so you can, again, get on the throttle as hard as you can. Now we're coming up to the attitudes. This is a little bit of a tricky section. Visually, can't really see what's coming up. Braking somewhere around the 2, gonna have to brake really hard for that back shift. And here we have basically your chicane. Slightly late apex so that you exit somewhere mid-track. This next apex is more of a touch and go. In other words, you just bounce right off of that briefly. Again, somewhat mid-track, even to the left. Hit that apex briefly, you're not gonna hold it very long at all. This corner, Tuala turn, difficult because, as you can see, it's blind coming up, so it's a bit crested. The corner is slightly wider than 90 degrees, and you can see we gained some camber. So coming in, it feels a bit sketchy. But then once you make it down in this section, we gain the camber, so it feels quite good. And quite often riders realize, oh, I could have rolled the throttle on more and used more track. So this one has some interesting little changes that require a rider to adjust based on both the radius and where the camber begins and where it flattens off. Coming up here, this is more of a sort of a typical 90-degree-ish corner. Hard braking, so we're trailing the brakes in pretty far. We're not holding this apex for very long. Back on the gas really hard, and again, this isn't where you need to open up the entrance very much. You could come in mid-track. And then we want to hug the apex. Get down here, hug it for a while, and then try and hammer the throttle coming out of here. And just like the last corner, we don't need to open up the entrance so much. We can be somewhere mid-track. Come down. We're gonna get up against the apex and hold that for a little while. And now we really wanna get the thing pointed up the straightaway so we can accelerate, get to wide open throttle as early as possible. And that concludes your lap at Utah Motorsports Campus East course. Now there is a west course, a perimeter course, and a full course. So this is really just one configuration that you can do. So it's a really nice facility. I think the thing I like about this track is it does get a really nice flow once you figure out where you want to be.